right, guys, this is Gamer Nerd, and we are back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard-only run video. Today, we're just going to be looking at Nightmare Campaign. We're going to be doing a generalized idea of this. Literally, this is just to get through it the first time so we can kind of see what you're up against and the kind of things you're going to need in order to get through it. Now, stage 1, 2, 3, and honestly, possibly even 4 probably are not going to give anyone too much difficulty. You can beat these with basic heroes. I've shown this in my Nightmare campaign series, so it's fine. But we're gonna focus mainly on the bosses. Okay. Now we're going to start by using just the regular heroes. All right. So we're going to bring in the normal team that you probably will have at this point. Nothing crazy. I'll bring these guys in. You could technically bring Diabolist if you wanted to. I understand that my heroes are going to be a lot stronger, but this is just so you can kind of see what each area is going to hold for you and what challenges are going to kind of pop up as in one video. Now, this team is basically, they're your one-stop shop. All right, they're going to be able to get through all the stages of Nightmare if you've been building them and focusing on these guys. I know a lot of people told you don't level these guys. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter. Literally, these first few stages of Nightmare, it doesn't matter. You can whoop their butts with any normal team. As you can see, we are not even trying here. All right, so for you, you can do it with very minimal gear and minimal effort. Let's put it that way. I think we were able to beat at least stage 1 and 2, I believe, pretty much right off the cuff after being able to. If you can farm Brutal with Kale, you can pretty much do Carrick Castle and the Sewers of Arnoc. All right, most of them are going to be basic. Now, Sewers of Arnoc, you are going to have a little bit of annoyance with the waves, and I think that's where most people are going to come up with a problem. So, how do you basically get over that problem? Well, let's try it real quick. Let's just see what happens when we use the basic team. And when I said there's going to have a problem, the problem here is that these guys revive and have unblockable, see? So there's a couple of options here. You can just do what I'm doing right now and literally just suck it up and pray that your heroes are strong enough to not get killed. You can bring one hero that is a reviver in case they are strong enough to kill you. That's an option. Or you can just bring somebody who can remove this stuff. There's plenty of heroes that can do it. I know, I think even Conqueror can remove debuffs, remove buffs from the team. And there's other heroes, obviously, that can do it. If you're advanced, you're probably not worrying about this stage. But you've got Gerda, you've got Brian, things like that. And then I think there's a few heroes like there's Totem who can remove buffs from heroes. So there are heroes you can bring in here to make these fights easier and try to remove those. That's basically the only thing in here you might see. And if that was the case, defense down might not be the most necessary thing in here. Attack up is pretty good for Kale because you want your main hero to do as much damage. So if I was going to remove anyone, it would be her. And then you could bring in someone like Totem. Now, if this is the case, you're not going to be autoing probably. Where is she? I don't even know where she is. We haven't pulled her out in a while. There we go. We're not going to auto this time. We're going to try and... There we go. All right. So basically what you would do is you would speed your team up. You would do attack up. If you kill him... Oh, see, the problem here is that we have defense down. I forgot. See, this is attacks all enemies and decreases defense by 30%. So you could still get your defense down, all right, and then you can do your smack. Now he's going to revive, all right, so now we just waste our turns, blah, blah, blah. Let's see if my accuracy, I don't even know if my accuracy is good enough for this. See, she has a skill that can remove, it has a 50% chance of removing a random buff, so it's only a 50% chance, but there you go. There you go. See, removed it, and then boom, problem solved. All right, so that's basically what you're going to be doing. We'll just auto it through now. That's the only problem you're going to see in here. And there are rounds where you're going to have 3 or 4 different heroes that are going to do this. So don't think that was, this is the easiest version I've seen. There is a round where I think all 4 of them maybe even do it. So just know that you might have to be patient. Make sure you have someone who can heal you up. All right, because they are going to get their hits off regardless of whatever you're doing when you first get here. So just don't get too crazy about it. If you've got someone that can do it, great. If not, just keep your heroes strong enough to take hits and have a healer or a resurrector. That's it. And then you can get through Nightmare. It shouldn't be that much of a big deal. All right, now we're into stage 3. Catacombs, honestly, not much here to see. It's kind of the same nonsense. I don't think there's anything special in this fight outside of just being stronger and having more damage. You have options here. You can leave this person in the front, leave Kale in the front if you want to be, more defensive because you're getting killed, or you can bring, Spirit Host into the lead and make your team faster so you get more attacks quicker, and then just get through it as fast as you can. Boom, speed up, attack up. It's all the same stuff, defense down, kill. Once again, I get it. You're going to be going through at least 2, maybe even 3 rounds with these guys. I remember doing it. It sucks, but that's what everyone goes through. You're going to go through what everybody else went through. All right. The only thing that's the problem here is strength. That's it. That's the only thing that you need to worry about for the first few stages. There's nothing crazy going on here. This fight is pretty much a joke at this point for me, obviously. And later stages of Nightmare are going to be much harder, even for the teams that I have. So just know that. So there you go. And this is, remember, we're not looking for 3 stars here. We're just looking to beat it. All right. So stage 3, not much to look at. Stage 4, I can actually farm this. As you can see, I've done this with just 2 heroes. It's fine. And just random heroes. Like I have my campaign farmer doing it at this point. That's where we're at. So we're going to remove that, take him out, and we are going to bring in the boys. We love the boys, even though half of them are girls. Where are you? There you go. And you. So now for this one, same thing. I'm going to actually say for this one, HP is probably going to be a better option when you first get here because the dragon has a lot of health. This is going to be your first roadblock in Nightmare campaign. And what I mean by roadblock is it's a boss that if you are not prepared to take hits and get poisoned, you will die. All right. So that's the main thing here. It's not even like there's going to be some crazy like mechanic that you have to figure out. It's literally just damage output and can you stay alive. So if you have someone like Spirit Host who can remove those debuffs, it actually makes this fight a lot easier and lets you stay alive longer. We have healing from Mr. Apothecary. But yeah, see, this guy has a lot of health. Like I said, you saw how quickly the other bosses melted. You just saw Kale basically knock off half the health of that boss in the other round. But as you can see, even Kale is, with a 4-hitter, is taking a lot longer to take this boss down. So this is the first boss you're going to have that has a lot of health. All right, and I mean a lot. So don't get frustrated. Build up your attack. Try to get your crit damage up on your main hero. Make sure your healers are good, and you should be fine. Like I said, Spirit Host is good for this. She can get through it. She can remove all the stuff for you, so do not fret. All right, that's it. Like I said, these first few areas are not that hard. Now, this one. This was a weird one. I forgot who we used in here that was funny. There was a hero that was able to beat this by themselves, I think. This one's going to be tough because you need to stay alive. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's not good. All right. Now, if you were going to bring in anyone, now he's red, which means you're going to hopefully want green. I believe we originally had beat this with Jizzo on the team. I believe. I don't really remember. But let's just say we bring in Kale. All right. We've got Kale. You've got Jizzo. I'm assuming you have Jizzo at this point, at least a week. I don't think you'll be up here that quickly unless you're like a monster. All right. You could do something like this. Spirit Host is green. The other option here is if you've been building other heroes, you could take Kale out and try to find a green attacker. Like that's something that is possible. If you want to bring in a spirit hitter, that's fine too. It might make the fight a little easier. Just for funds, we'll bring in somebody who's a green hitter. I know I just saw one. And you could bring in heroes that are more defensive. That is also an option. I'm thinking either Risk Arm or him. Let's just try him. Let's just see how it goes. We're going to leave him in the lead for attack. We'll see if this works. Because like I said, it's been a while. I may mess this up. I'm fine with it. So basically, we're going to have attack up. The reason we have Jizzo is because he can just kick ass. That's why. He's awesome. And he does a reasonable amount of damage to the boss. He can counter the boss, which is nice. Say, look at that. This is where things are going to get a little wonky. You've definitely got this area is the first area that gives you trouble in the regular game. Like even when you're here in normal, this area is going to give you a major issue just because it's a bad affinity. You know what I mean? Nobody likes bad affinities, but even a weird team like this can get through it. You can do this, like we could have just done this with Kale, but he's not going to do anywhere near the amount of damage that he's supposed to do. There you go. Nice little attack there. Now, this one, you're going to have to whittle them down one at a time. Don't go crazy trying to, you may have these guys do some serious damage. They do hit pretty hard, so don't think that it's going to be easy. And he can provoke that one hero like he just did. You can have him get a little provoke off on the reindeer so that at least one of these guys isn't focused on your weaker heroes, which is the main thing here. This is where the problems are going to come in, all right, because this guy puts up a counterattack. And if you hit the whole team with your AoEs, he's going to counterattack whichever hero that is that, basically attacked him. See, and you will get some annoying stuff. See, he just got the counterattack up. There we go. We got to provoke. This is why Jizzo is so good at this. Having someone who has a shield set is going to make this easier for if you're, especially when you're like at that last second where you might die. Having a person that's in shield or bolster is going to be a huge help in this fight just to get through that first round. And obviously what's going on right now, you don't want to be attacking the boss. We're autoing it just because, but if you're playing this for the first time, you're probably not going to want to put this on auto. You're going to want to, focus on the ads, kill them first, get them out of here. Unless you have some really strong single target hero that can kill the boss very quickly, I'd probably recommend not doing it. Once again, if you have somebody who can remove buffs, you could bring someone like Totem. She is Spirit Affinity. Bring her in. She can remove the counterattack, and that makes the fight much easier. As you can see, once again, the HP of these bosses is getting kind of out of control. All right, we got speed up. Boom, look at that. Say counterattack back up. He's going to start hitting everyone again. This is where having defenses. This is where you're going to start seeing that defense is going to become more important for your heroes. Where just going all in on attack might not work for you if you don't have good support heroes. But either way, he's not that bad. Just make sure you have at least maybe one Spirit Affinity damage dealer if possible. I did do it with Kale and with Jizzo, so don't get yourself beat up about it. Just keep trying, and eventually you'll get through it. All right, so that's 5. Now, Palace of Aravia, honestly, is the perfect affinity. There's like nothing here. It's all green. You can bring in your whole blue team if you want. Let's bring in. We'll start trying out some of the other heroes. We'll bring in Golek this time. So we'll bring these guys in. 1, 2, and you. There you go. We've got our HP. Let's go for it. It's funny because even if you're a little bit lower power for this round, you'll still probably be able to beat it because all the heroes that you're most likely going to have at this point are going to be the right affinity. You could even switch out what's her face, War Maiden, for someone else, like if you wanted to, because her defense down isn't going to really help if she can't land it, especially when you first get here. She's going to be the wrong affinity for this, but we have her there. Say she did get a defense down on at least one of them, so that's good. Luckily, our Golek is reasonably powerful. He's not super. He's actually one of my weaker ones right now, funny enough. Now, this is where you might see some issues, is this guy, because you got to be strong enough to take him down. So if you don't have a good single target damage deal, you might have some issues. Now, you're going to have another one in this fight. Say we got the defense down, so that's good. That guy's dead. He's important to kill quick because he does hit really hard, that little guy. He's kind of a jerk in that respect. There you go, resisted. Now, you have Spirit Host in here, so when she drops your defense or whatever she does there, I forgot what it was, just make sure you have Spirit Host at the ready, remove whatever she put up there, and then boom, you might even be lucky enough to get a 450 HP glove. I know you're really excited about that. But yeah, this area, not much to look at. It's literally just bring your normal heroes in, and you're fine. So that's another one of the nice little easy fight areas. And then we've got Tilshire. Tilshire ramps up a bit. All right, there are going to be some problems here. You do have some seriously strong enemies. The boss itself hits really hard. You're going to want to be protected. So what I would say is, if you're going to bring anybody in here, if you're having trouble, all right, with the damage output, I would say bring in Valerie. That's what I would do. I would go more defensive. I don't think this is a good option as far as beating it quickly. You could do it with a regular thing, but the reason we're doing this is because, once again, if you've been following my guides, Valerie is in a shield set. Spirit Host is in a shield set. It keeps everyone alive. Luckily, Valerie just doesn't die. She's really good like that. She has a shield, so look at all that shield. So if you're having trouble with these guys hitting you, look at that. You just block it all. We don't even care. And Valerie actually does do reasonable damage, which is funny enough. But she won't die, and that's the good news. Well, I don't know about won't, but she won't die for me, right? I don't believe. For you, she might die. But as long as you have all these shields going on, it'll at least get you through the first few rounds. People underestimate how important shields can be for these kinds of fights and 3-starring them, because having all the shield is good for this because it gives you at least a round or two of attacks. Where, I mean, I'm sure everyone's seen it where you get hit with something and then all of a sudden one more hit, your hero's dead, right? Well, that's what the shields are for, all right? They pop up every single wave. All right, every wave they will pop up regardless. See, watch this. Free shield. All right, boom, there you go. And now this fight's a lot harder. These the ads, you need to kill them super fast. I think one of them actually has a provoke. And yes, this other guy, I think he's kind of a pain in the ass. He might have a counter. That's what he has. Counter and reflect damage. So he's going to keep attacking you. So if I was going to do this on not auto, Yeah, we might just try to focus the boss right now, but we're not going to do that. I want you guys to see that, you know, if my team can do this on auto, your team can do it not on auto. It's funny, just doing something on auto is a lot harder. There you go. You got more shield from Valerie and a heal. Luckily, he's got poison, so when he actually gets his turn, he's going to die. So who cares? He made the mistake of attacking my Kale. Look at this, and we're using support heroes here, guys. All right, that's it. We're not trying to be powerful. We're just trying to beat it. That's the whole thing. We just want to win. All right. There you go. Tilshire down. So having that extra hero with the shield is a big help in that fight to not dying. Okay. All right, so that's Tilshire. Now we are going to work our way, and it's funny because the reason we're doing this video is because someone asked me about this, and I honestly didn't know the answer. So we're going to find out right now. So now this fight, we were trying to see if heal reduction might help this boss, or if what's going to work here. So for this fight, I want to try a couple different things. All right, we're going to bring in Kale. You could do this, I believe, with the team I just showed you. Like every single hero we've just been using. My team as of right now can beat this. But are you going to have that easy of a time? No. So how would you beat it? Well, you could consider some things. So we definitely want to stay alive. So that's the first thing. Luckily, our spirit host has removing of debuffs and has a shield. So that basically solves most of the problems. Now, at this point, staying alive is going to be a big deal. These guys do hit pretty hard. You could use Valerie as your secondary if you need someone to keep you alive. I don't think I need to do that right now, but let's just see. We want heal reduction, right? That's the first thing we want. So we're going to try and get some heal reduction, and we're also going to try some other stuff. Actually, we need him, so we're going to bring him in. And who can we bring for heal reduction? I'm thinking him. I don't know if it's even going to matter, though. Let's try it. It's good to have somebody of a separate affinity that does damage. And I think there's a lot of red in here. Now, the problem with these fights is I think these guys hit pretty damn hard, and they take a lot to kill. So you may have some issues here. So we have the removal of debuffs. There's a lot of continuous heal going on in this fight. Luckily, Headsman actually has a fear, and he has a poison, which is kind of nice. So he's got a reasonable kit that can kind of take care of some stuff that might annoy you. Now, for this part, I don't know if I would auto this, just because this guy's going to put up unkillable. So he's kind of a pain. So I would want to keep trying to kill this guy as much as possible. These guys do hit pretty hard too, but he has unkillable. So that is a problem. All right. So we want to fear him at least, or try to kill him. There you go. He's feared. Now we're going to really try to kill him. And now, boom, back to auto. Now these guys hit hard, so you will get killed here. See, look at this. Like these guys are doing reasonable damage already. Luckily, Kale has some healing abilities. He has the lifesteal set on, like you should have. All right, so there you go. Spirit host doesn't really matter. He's gonna waste his turn. Boom, boom, boom. He's dead. Now we're gonna see if this works on auto. The problem here is you have counterattacks. See, on that one girl. So having an auto here might not help you. It might be kind of a pain in the ass. See. We're going to see if it works, though. We're going to go for it. We're going to just leave it on auto. All right, so we have block damage. So having someone who can remove skills would be very, very helpful. Remove the buffs. So even like someone like a totem could work here. Luckily, we have heal reduction up now, so he can't heal anyone. But I think his is 50%. Like I said, this is a test right here. This is not a team I'd probably choose. We just want to see if heal reduction is really going to help you or not. To be honest, I would rather just kill faster. Like that's kind of where I'm at with this. But luckily, we can remove our buffs. Look at that. Heal reduction, poison. Hopefully, he doesn't die. There we go. He was able to survive. We have the heal reduction on there. So, yeah, looks like heal reduction does work pretty well here. If you have a turn meter dropper, that could work here also. Looks like they don't even care about this guy. They're just ignoring him on auto. So that might be something to consider. There you go. He's dead. Look at that. And we got a Templar. Look at that. So yeah, it looks like heal reduction does work here. Now the problem here though is that if you're trying to 3-star this, what I'm going to say is this. I don't even know if heal reduction would be the option. I think staying alive, because you're going to only have 2 heroes. See, I mean, you saw that Headsman was getting, close to dying, but you're going to need to have 2 heroes. So I don't know if heal reduction would be the one of choice for me. I would probably pick somebody who can just really wreck damage and stack poisons or something like that. Might be a better option for you, just because you know that eventually, once a few rounds go by, your poisons should out damage his heal, and then just keep using your regular attacks to whittle his HP down. He doesn't have a lot of health. I'll give him that. He's actually pretty squishy comparative to some other bosses. So, yeah. But does heal reduction work? Yes, it works to get through it. If you're trying to 3-star, I don't know what legendaries have heal reduction that are also defensive or strong. So that's not something I would be the person to ask on that. But if you have someone who has those things, then go ahead. Deadlands. This one could be tough. It can be a tough fight. I don't know if we can do this with our regular team, can we? It's been a while, like I said. For this fight, and the subsequent dragon as well. Now, the only problem here is we have, I think this is where Valkyries pop in. So having someone who can, honestly, I don't even know if this is something I would auto. Like, I don't really feel like this is an auto fight. But what we're going to do is we're going to try Petrify. All right, we're going to try this and see if it works. I think I put the wrong person in the lead. All right, so now we've got attack down, but we're going to have a lot of counters. All right, tons of counters, which is going to be bad for anyone who attacks them. She's going to waste a turn, which is nice. Now, these guys are always going to have a counterattack. It's just kind of how they are. They're kind of jerks. We don't really like them, and they will keep countering. Hopefully, our apothecary heals him back up before he dies, which would be nice. Yep, there you go. All right, now they're both going to attack. Ooh, I had a screen come up. Now, the good news here is that Petrify is a defensive hero for me because we were using her as essentially a clan boss build. Now, you're going to be getting constantly counterattacked here. So having a good healer or someone who can pop shields would be good. This is why I said Valerie could be a good option here. Well, there you go. So this is the jerk. He's the only one that's really a jerk in this scenario. There you go. He's got his counterattack. So now everybody who hits him is going to be annoyed. And of course, that was the first time. I think one of these guys heals. These guys hit pretty hard. See, when these two are on the same team, it's bad, by the way, in case you were wondering. Luckily, they're not on the same team anymore. I hope that they revive. There's a lot of that stuff, by the way. There's a lot of, oh, you killed me? Well, guess what? We get 2 turns instead of 1. So just know that that's kind of a thing that the game likes to do. All right, so far it looks like it's going pretty well. Once again, I would not auto this fight when I first got here. Stay away from hitting counterattacks like this guy. I would focus on trying to kill these 2 jerks because they hit really hard. Her, you could probably just kill with your AoEs eventually. She's going to whittle down, and then she's going to be dead. Those 2 are the ones that are hard. Now, the boss, not much to go on here. I think this is the one that literally just is annoying. You could stack poisons on this boss. Just make sure you have someone who can remove debuffs from your team, because I believe he poisons. My team seemed to resist it because it's been a while since we beat this, so our resistances are much higher. He does hit pretty hard. This fight, you really just need survivability to get through it, and if you can stack poisons and attacks, this is why Petrify is good and why I brought her here. She's one of those heroes that you can literally just kind of drop the attack, drop the defense, and stack poisons, and then call it a day. All right, so he's not that bad. We don't really care about him. So that's an easy one. Then we move into Godfrey's Crossing, which is the one that will kill you. Now, for this specific fight, you want lifesteal or someone who can keep you guys alive. That's it. That's the main thing. You can do this with a solo hero that has lifesteal. All right, just so you know, even if they don't have anything that can remove debuffs or do anything, he does go unkillable. So there is that. All right, so we're just going to bring our normal team in for this fight and see what happens. Because to be honest, this fight's not terrible. This one comes down to just being able to survive these enemies. These are pretty beefy enemies. I'll give it that, because you're already in the 200s now. All right, so you're in 200s. These guys are going to be blue. So blues are basically just going to be equal. So, and that's probably what you'll have is a couple blue heroes. They're going to be strong against the green heroes. So having a Spirit Affinity hero like Spirit Host, who's awesome and helps you a lot, might give you some trouble here. But to be honest, she's so damn strong, I don't think it really matters. So now this guy, same thing. You could do the same thing before. You could bring in Petrify. And honestly, I think it's a better option than having War Maiden. I think it's a way better option. Petrify is actually really good for a lot of early game content. There you go. He's got his unkillable. He's got his healing. So really it comes down to being able to kill him before he goes unkillable is really what it comes down to. You could bring somebody who blocks buffs. You could, I don't know if that would actually work on the boss. You'd have to check, but removing it works. You can find someone who can remove it. Just remember, you're going to need someone with high accuracy for these things, and I mean high accuracy for your account, not high accuracy as in the grand scheme of raid, because you need to be able to actually have the accuracy to remove it. But once again, Totem, Conqueror, a couple of random heroes that you can just get. Conqueror is obviously farmable. He hits pretty hard. He is Spirit Affinity, so he's going to get hurt in here. But if you can keep him alive, it's not a big deal. Once again, that looked easier. I think Petrify is a better option here. Same thing as the last dragon. You can stack your poisons, drop his attack so you don't get hurt as much, and drop his defense all at the same time. So that's all one thing. Now, this is where a lot of people are going to have problems in the original run through. And that's because this guy's a jerk. All right. He is a jerk. He hits really hard. You're going to need some spirit heroes that can really do some damage if you're having trouble. We did do it with these two. All right. We did do it with them. Honestly, I think the regular team is going to work fine here. I'll bring Kale. I mean, I'll bring him in, and we'll bring in who we bring in. Yeah, you know, we'll just keep it. We'll keep it simple. I just want you guys to see that most of these fights don't require a specific team to get through it. Now, for this fight, like I said, you're gonna preferably need a Spirit Affinity hero. I'm purposely doing it without that so that you can see that my heroes, even though strong, I'm gonna do it as a weak team, basically. Now, there's gonna be heroes in here that can do unkillable. So if you have someone who can remove the debuffs, that would be something that is good. If you the not the debuffs, the regular buffs, like unkillables and stuff. If you can have somebody who can do that, it'll save you a lot of trouble. The other thing in here that might help would be somebody who can freeze, because then you can get her, whittle her HP down, get her to have a turn. Say she goes unkillable, so that way she can't get off her main attack. So if you can freeze her here, right there. See, we've already gotten about 2 or 3 attacks beforehand. See, she hits pretty damn hard. That will save you a lot of trouble and pain. Otherwise, just kind of heal your way through it. It's not the end of the world. This fight right here, see, he's going to do the locking of your skills right there, which is going to be annoying. So you're going to have to essentially use your A1s to get through it. If you have high resist, you won't have to worry about that like I just did. I kind of just whittled my way through it. This guy will hit hard, and when you first get here, probably what you're seeing when he did that chain attack, it's probably going to kill it would probably kill one of your team members. So just be prepared to have someone who can either revive or, once again, shield. I would bring in Valerie here. That's it. That's the only change I would make if I was having trouble. I would take War Maiden out. I would put in Valerie and just make the fight go slower and have an extra shield, have an extra heal, and that's it. Boom, problem solved. You're more than likely your Kale would be locked up that entire fight, just so you know. So that's why Spirit Host is good. You're going to want to have her to remove that, but he will be locked up because you're not going to have the resistance to do it the first time probably. All right, but yeah, there you go. Regular team can do it. This fight, once again, it's with 4 heroes. It's not that bad. You can expect to. What are we doing here? You can expect to have a hero die in this. We're not going to try. A campaign farmer can pretty much run this by themselves, but there's not much here to really worry about. We'll keep it as HP because we want to be able to stay alive. And if the HP is enough to stop us from getting the, what is it? The death, he hits pretty goddamn hard with that attack, and this is really just a luck fight, and I think a lot of people have been pissed off about this because anytime you attack him, you're going to give him some turn meter. There's a chance that literally right now we'll die, so it's the only time that I'm completely and totally unsure whether or not we'll win, and that's because shit happens. That's why, because this fight is very random, and just having the wrong thing happen at the wrong time is all it needs. We also don't have anybody on this team that is essentially stopping these enemies in the waves from doing what they're going to do. All right, we don't have any crowd control here, and the crowd control is huge in making this fight easier. As you can see, we might even lose War Maiden. It's possible. There you go. We're getting there, unless my boy can get in there. Yep. Oh, we're almost dead here. Oh, we got it. Look at that, right at the last second. And this is like my strong heroes, and they're having trouble. All right. So now let's see what happens. More than likely, he's going to start popping off. The biggest problem we're going to have here is if he kills Kale right off the cuff. Yeah, see, this is not a team I would use here. You're going to see a lot of death. And this is why this fight's really hard, all right? Because you're essentially giving him turn meter every single time. So if you're going to try and poison him to death, that does work, but that's only if you're going to focus on the ads and just hope that the poisons take him down. See, we got lucky so far. We literally have been lucky. I know it doesn't look like it because War Maiden's dead, but he hasn't tried to kill my hero yet. Like, he hasn't done the block revive thing yet. All right, those guys hit hard, so they're probably going to die. But it is possible to do it with this team. It just requires you to level them. Now, what I'm going to say here is this. Crowd control. So somebody who, and if you don't have a crowd control hero, somebody who has an AoE like Soul Bond or what's her name? Diabolist in a stun set could help get you through that fight. The other thing is that if you have someone who can drop turn meter like Soulbon, that is a 2-for-1 because she has an AoE attack that you could put her in a stun set if you're really having trouble there. And she also has a turn meter drop. So she could conceivably be your turn meter dropper. Oh, look at this. We got free stuff. So she could be your turn meter person. And she also hits really damn hard. And that's honestly why Soulbon was like one of my #1 heroes in the beginning of this game, is because she's just insane. Like, she literally has everything you need to get through a fight. I mean, and her kit is so simple. She has a turn meter drop, all right, depleting the target's turn meter by 100%. She's got this skill, which ignores defense, 75% of it, so she can hit that really hard, and she has an AoE on her A1. So really, really good hero. I highly recommend building her early on, like right in the beginning of the game. She's pretty much #6 for me at this point, outside of Jizzo. Like, Jizzo I would build just to get through Scarab King. But Soulbon is going to be useful in so many damn dungeons. It's insane. Her and Crimson Slayer, probably the two best heroes in the beginning of this game. But yeah, I'm just showing you like the high-end version of this. What the whole point of this was is really just to kind of give you an idea and a breakdown of each boss and what you're going to need. But I'm showing you me winning with heroes that shouldn't really be considered to win these fights. All right. It's like, these aren't the heroes you should use. I'm just showing you that you don't need the best heroes in the world to get through it. All right. Eventually you'll get through it. I waited forever to beat Nightmare. I actually forgot it existed. That's literally how long it was before I beat Nightmare. So if you're trying to beat it early, then you're going to have more frustration. All right. If you just keep leveling and playing the game, doing dungeons, getting gear, doing your, forge passes, getting everything you can to get your free stuff, you'll be fine eventually and you'll be able to beat it. All right. Or just, like I said, beef up those 4 heroes and you'll be able to at least get through most of these fights with just 5 or 6, just 4 beefy heroes. That's it. If I was going to pick 4, it'd be Kale, it'd be Spirit Host, it would be Apothecary, and it would be Valerie. Those would be the 4 I would definitely pick, just because I'm guaranteed to be able to stay alive in fights that are harder, like the one we just saw, and it's going to make the fight slower, but we'll get through it. All right. So yeah, that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, things you want to talk about, things you want to discuss, feel free to leave a comment. You can like, share, subscribe. All right. You help the channel grow. We do a live stream every single week. And as always, we have a little, you can be a member if you want for $1.99, not there, for $1.99 a month. And yeah, it's nice. You get, all my videos early, and, you know, you make me happy. You make my dog happy. No. But yeah, that's about it for today. Remember, this is my favorite hero, Valerie. I love her. She's my favorite. She really is one of my favorite heroes in the game. It's crazy. Like, she's literally from the first area you can get her, and I have never stopped caring about her. She is my love. And yeah, so this is the campaign fun. This is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and take care.